Alrighty then, and we're live. Welcome, guys, to Sunday Showdown. Tonight, we're just gonna relax. I gotta do another makeup stream from missing Mare Fair last week, missing the streams last week due to Mare Fair. So yeah, Heather and I are gonna hang out. We're gonna play some Mass Effect, picked up where we left off last time, and see what we can accomplish tonight. I hope to learn about some Mass Effect lore while we're at it.
Okay, I'm pumping Mass Effect audio through my mic right now. Do you hear it?
I do.
All right, perfect. Just wanted to make sure that was all settled. Let me minimize something here, and we should be good to go.
All right.
Tell me if you need me to turn this down. I might turn it down just for me because it feels a little loud. Oh, that's too low. That's too low. What the fuck? Everything's muted for no good reason. The game is freaking out.
Yeah.
All right, what words did you say, honey?
I said, hopefully we'll get to learn some Mass Effect lore tonight. Let me know when the game is ready to go.
There's always... it's ready. Yeah, freaking... I'm sorry. I just wanted to turn down the volume for me a little bit, and it made the whole thing freak out. Mass Effect doesn't like when you're not clicked onto it. Like, God forbid you want to just mess with your settings a little bit. It's stupid. I think... Oh, right! We were in the middle of a mission!
Indeed we were. Let's take a look.
Let's see. Boop, 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 boop,
boop.
Okay, it probably has to do with this
Rusty saying hello, Paladin saying hello. Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing well tonight. And by the way, we are still fundraising, so show this to all your Brony friends. Get them in here watching.
So it looks like we're working on UNC Exogeny facility. We've made it to the planet, and we're going to investigate the facilities on the planet, Nota Crux, and the Vostok system of the Maroon Sea cluster for clues. So let's explore this colony. Let's take a quick look at the map, shall we? So we surveyed this gold deposit. There's an anomaly over here, another debris here, and this is the science facility. So let's go explore this anomaly real quick. I believe it was in this direction? Let me see if I'm going. Oh, wait, not save. Yeah, I got to keep checking our maps when we're doing this because, like, the mini-map is too mini. We're on the border right now.
The stream can't even see the mini-map. I'm covering it while holding a tip jar over my head.
Yeah, you don't get to know where we're going, chat. You're just gonna have to trust me. Just trust me and my unreliable GPS.
Nobody knows where we're going, not even me.
You get to peek at the map. Yes, it is this way. It's gonna be a little bit to my left. Ah, boy, I hate it when it gets like this.
Yeah, so Chad, it looks like it's gonna be a relaxed stream tonight. Man, I would live here. I would live on this planet. It is
I think we discussed this planet a little bit while we were talking about this, and it turns out there was just too much it looks idyllic, it really does, but there's too much nitrogen in the atmosphere, if I'm not mistaken.
So yeah, as far as like humans and life on Earth goes, oxygen is ideal. But the things that consume oxygen produce a lot of carbon dioxide byproduct, which the vegetation then reconverts into oxygen. So like the vegetation feeds off of carbon dioxide, which then excretes oxygen. And the rest of the life on the planet breathes either oxygen or methane or and a little bit of nitrogen. There's a bit of nitrogen in our air. And we exhale carbon dioxide. So that's how the circle of life works. And hey, Nathan, how you doing?
I'm recovering an ancient artifact.
So it's not like I know very much, but the question that I would ask is that if this planet is so high in nitrogen, how is it supporting so much green plant life, which would be producing a lot of oxygen?
You know, now that I know the name of the planet, maybe I can look this up in the codex. But real quick, we found a Turian insignia recovered. This escape pod is a half-buried in material that has washed down from the mountains. Though it has obviously been here for centuries, the computer still has power. Linking in with your hard suit, you recover a batch of files containing data on the Thracia colony. Yo, that's some good-ass batteries this has. Is it solar-powered, bro? Let me check the codex here. Secondary.
Highly advanced technology. So while it's going to be a relaxing stream tonight, guys, out in the chat, I would like to pose a question to you guys. How has your weekend gone? You know, what did you do with your weekend, and what are your plans for the upcoming week? I'm curious. And while we're waiting on that, we'll learn some Fallout lore here.
You making a joke?
No, not really.
I was like, okay, are you trying to be funny by saying something wrong? So it doesn't say in my codex, probably because it can't have everything in there, but Nutacrux is a verdant world with abundant water, temperature, climate, a thick oxygen, nitrogen atmosphere, okay, and a rich ecosystem. It would seem to be perfect for life. The relative high percentage of oxygen makes humans feel energized and alive, though it also allowed insect analogs to grow to frightful sizes. That was the problem. Giant-ass bugs.
Yeah, so this planet is basically in its own Cretaceous period right now.
Yeah, so it says, unfortunately, Notacrux is a case of almost but not quite. Thunderstorms are as common as on Earth, but in Notacrux's thicker oxygen-rich atmosphere, they are deafening and spark constant wildfires. More damning, however, are the large and ubiquitous tufts of pollen that float in the high-pressure air. In humans and other oxygen-breathing species, they cause severe or lethal allergic reactions, which, actually, if we go out, you can see the pollen. God, this place would make me explode in hives.
That would be a problem. And a lot of
giant fucking bugs and pollen.
I'm surprised we haven't run into any giant bugs yet. I'm almost certain there's going to be a Tetzel worm here, or whatever the frick of those things that we keep running into.
The Thresher Maw.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know
I'm just going to keep saying Tetzel worm because it. But
it's Tetzel worms is what again?
That's that thing in Ponyvania that I keep fighting. It was that thing in it wasn't Make New Friends but Keep Discord. It was you know, one of the episodes, the one where Twilight was trying to go to the Star Swirl convention with Cadence and then Discord got in the way.
Yeah, okay. I think I remember that. It made him sick at the end by throwing up on him or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I gotta say, the person who made Ponyvania really, went for it, you know? It's just amazing, all the bosses they've been able to, reskin with enemies I hadn't even thought about in a hell of a long time. Am I going the right way?
There's a lot of original elements in there, too. There's stuff that makes references. There's a Millennium Puzzle in there that you can get as an equipment.
Oh, that's cool.
There's a Master Sword in there, apparently. They also put in a bunch of references to other games. It's a good game. You know, I can't knock craftsmanship. It really is good. I just suck. That's really all it is at the end of the day, I am not a gamer. But, yeah, so a lot of people are pretty certain that humans would not have been able to survive in the Cretaceous or the Jurassic because the predators
they were unreal.
Everything was a predator and everything was gigantic.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that there ever was something like that on our homely little planet. These days, the biggest thing you can find on land is an elephant, and the biggest thing in the sea is probably the whale.
Yeah, the humpback, I believe. Now, as I understand, the humpback whale it's either the humpback or the blue whale. I can't remember. But one of those is...
Sperm whale!
Is actually the biggest thing that we know to have ever existed on Earth. And it's alive at the same time as we are.
That's crazy. What about Megalodon?
I don't know about Megalodon and how it compares to the biggest whale. And I'm just gonna keep saying the biggest whale because I've already made myself look like an idiot by not knowing if it's the sperm whale, the blue whale, or the humpback that was the biggest. And it might not even be true that it is the biggest thing that ever lived on Earth. It's just something I had heard at one point in time. But ultimately,
These jets
I don't know.
suck. Let me.
They suck for this.
Sorry,
I mean, you're trying to climb a 90-degree angle, Heather. And
Well, how am I supposed to get to it?
I don't know. This is why we need
Riddle me that.
We need the grappling hook from Pal World. But yeah, I don't know how Megalodon compares to the largest whale. It might be bigger. Some people think the Megalodon is still out there, and it would be like in the deep ocean.
Oh, I was going to say, I find that highly unlikely, because even with giant squids that people were so curious about, we at least have their corpses to confirm their existence.
Yeah. Now, the giant squids were, people have been telling stories of giant squids for as long as humans have been seafaring. And, but we've only just recently found one, you know? And, so... if anything, they would have been more likely to run into them back then in early seafaring days, because humans, as you know, tend to wreck things as we go along. So, like, big boats and, like, ship carriers and destroyers and all the stuff that, icebreakers, the stuff that we sail with now, like, something like a giant squid is going to avoid that like the plague. But before the environment and the squids have had a chance to adapt, they're probably hanging out in the shallower waters, griefing, humans. And like if they're Polynesian seafarers or Norse sailors, they're probably, in their little canoes and rowboats and rafts that they would make. Right up until things like colonial Europe, where we've got the large wooden ships and the whaling ships and things like that. They would have seen them a lot more.
All right. Stop. Okay. Plan of attack. I want to get on that ridge. I think that ridge is going to be the key, but I can't get to that ridge.
Meanwhile, the whole crew is inside this thing just making fun of the driver. Friggin' learn to drive.
I imagine it's like how it is when we're in the car with Spencer and Kaya and I'm like pissed about something in traffic. They're just on their fucking phone.
Just getting jostled all over the place. I think
they're
we got it.
Yep, they're probably strapped in like a monster truck in here. Whee!
Who do you think's driving?
Eventually I'll get it.
Who do you think's driving? Is it Commander Shepard or somebody else?
You see that shit?
Nose dive straight into the dirt.
Dude, look!
Oh,
that thing.
Yep. It's
like a horse and a kangaroo and shit. I'm going to take a closer look at those if I can, but this looks to be like the debris we want to find. Oh my god. Just fucking let me out.
Level terrain. We have not seen level terrain on this planet yet. And while you're doing that, let me read through chat here and see what's been going on.
Look, Brawny, it's like an anteater, kind of. Or no, it's like it is. I think I'm gonna go with my original assessment, like a kangaroo and a horse.
That thing's weird. Like it's like a kangaroo, and it's a hexapedal though. It's got 6 limbs.
Yeah, it's got legs for running and arms for grabbing. Look at that fucking, it's glitching. It's just walking. That thing's hilarious. All right, time to salvage some shit.
Yeah, let's see
fine.
Here. So, Paladin said, in Ponyvania, we think you might be about to beat Daybreaker because you have a weapon that she is weak to. Oh, which weapon is that? I know that Dulcet Tone sent me a message breaking down my strategy for the Tetzel Worm, and other people have, like, sent me tips as well. I gotta, like, go through and analyze those and try again next week. So
I'm gonna see if the animals run away when I drive by. What's up? They don't do much.
That thing's got to be like, how big is the Mako? Is it 10 feet? You think the Mako is 10 feet or is it smaller?
I want to get close and see if I can see it. What is it?
Oh, it's not attacking
it doesn't even fucking care. It doesn't even fucking care. Look at this thing.
It's a horse header. It's got hooves. It's an ungulate.
I don't want to. Before anyone asks, I'm not going to kill it.
Yeah. Our video quality just dropped through the floor.
I'm getting a little glitchy, as it were. It might be our connection. I don't know.
God, I hope
Why
not.
does it put a thing on it if I can't do anything? It's
No idea. So let's see. What else is going on? Rusty says the weekend was chill for me. Had a work meeting. Breakfast and got paid for it. And should have been a shorter work week. Nathan says, I celebrated my sister's birthday early before tomorrow. Monday, that is. I also went out on a trip with my family and my friend Joey. It's Heather. I'm pretty sure Nathan is Mexican. Nathan, please correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Hispanic of some kind. Maybe.
Yeah. Here's how he spelled this name. DJOUIE. How do you think that's pronounced?
I'm trying. Hold on. I need to like visually see it. Can you spell it again for me?
Yeah. Let me know when you're ready.
Ready.
DJOUIE.
I don't think that's Hispanic, or at least I haven't seen that name before, or spelled in that fashion.
Yeah, that's
I mean, I don't want to be presumptuous, but it's quite different.
Mm-hmm. Rusty says Brawny's got the Tetzel worm on the brain. He's going to be having dreams about it.
You better not.
Oh,
you're not going to have the stress dreams like I do, damn it.
Heather, tell them about the dream you had last night.
Oh, yeah, guys, for once I didn't have a stress dream. I had a dream that my mom took out a loan and brought me a Hello Kitty RV trailer, dude. Like, it was honestly awesome. It was huge. It was pink. When I say pink, I mean, like, hot on the inside, pastel pink on the outside. Every appliance was Hello Kitty, because you know Hello Kitty has appliances. They have fucking blenders and fucking shit. Sorry. They probably do have shit. But they have fucking blenders and fucking... and toasters and shit, and then you could fold up everything like futons, so you could have a whole bunch of beds, or you could have a whole bunch of couches. It was wonderful, and I was like, Mom, you shouldn't have taken out a loan to get me this. She's like, it's okay, I only have a couple hundred payments to make, and then it's like all yours and stuff. And I'm like, Mom, I told my mom that, and I'm like, Mom, you can't just be doing that stuff. She's like, Heather, I didn't do that. I'm not gonna do that. And I'm like, okay, I'm just letting you know. I loved it in a dream, and it would be fucking awesome, but you can't be doing that. My mom's silly.
That's hilarious.
In my dreams, especially in my subconscious.
Yeah. And the blue whale says blue griffin. Blue whale's a big one. Okay.
Okay,
Alden
here's the science facility, and it's infested with husks. Oh, thorium creeper this time. I apologize.
Paladin says, Brawny, that's why you have us. We will help you finish the game.
Aw, it's a team effort. It's adorable.
Blue Griffin says, ugh, trying to drive the Mako up rocky walls.
Yeah, people did not like that about this game. People did not do side quests for this very reason.
Atlas,
but I get it. I'm willing to suffer, but I get it. Oh, God.
Atlas says hello to us. Hello, Atlas. Rusty says, Brawny, keep in mind, Ponyvania is based on a genre of games that are notoriously hard. The fact that you
the Metroidvanias?
Yeah, the fact that you've made it as far as you have shows that you're better than a lot of people. I don't know about that. The only reason I made it this far was because I have unlimited times to try again. I gotta tell you guys, I've never even beaten like the classic Sonic games, and those are supposed to be relatively easy. And also, I've got this Ponyvania game set on like normal or easy difficulty or something like that. Like, I didn't put it up to hard. I've got tabbed because I've been doing research on this game when I can. I'm trying to get ideas on how to like make it easier to, or at the very least possible for me to beat some of these bosses. So I've been trying to get ideas on like strategies and builds and things like that. I've got on one of my tabs here in Chrome, somebody doing a run on the hardest difficulty, straight through, no deaths.
Gross.
And just like, yeah.
I'm not to that, to like whatever this is.
And it's yeah, they built out as Pinky, and I've been trying to implement some of those strategies, and they're just not working for me, and it just follows down to that I am not a gamer. I am a grifter. It's different. I play games because people watch games, and that's about it. I'm gonna be totally honest with you guys. The whole reason of me live streaming was supposed to support my regular content, and by and large it has not. But
oh, we're gonna get it, Brawny. We're gonna get it.
We're gonna try, that's for sure. Oh frick.
Yeah, I hate it when it's these guys because they throw up on you. I hate it when they throw up on me.
So Heather,
fish in a barrel.
I feel like I know the answer, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Who's worse to fight? The Thorian creepers or husks or the flood? So would you rather have like the Halo zombies or the Mass Effect zombies?
Honestly, I think the flood I'd rate near the bottom because these guys, they get right in your face and they vomit on you. I think I might like Thorian creepers the least because they barf on you like boomers from freaking Left 4 Dead. I hate that shit. But yeah, I guess Thorian creepers are the worst. The Husk are the next worst. And the flood, I mean, the flood are still pretty bad. They creep me out, but like I feel like this is worse. This is worse, I think. At least in terms of how it makes me feel. I think I'm kind of over the flood. Like, don't get me wrong, I'd still feel dread if you had to tell me I have to play another Halo game with a flood library fucking level in it again. But, you know, as far as horror goes, they don't scare me as much as they used to. God, the original game, Halo Combat Evolved, the first time you encountered the flood, they really like did their best to just pack on the dread by giving you very little to do and very little to fight. It just built up that tension. And then the first thing you fight is like their fucking little balloon guys. It's crazy. And then you had to deal with the library. I'm going to say that was a well-crafted moment. The library, though, would probably make you sick of that enemy by that time. Another effective moment in Halo Combat Evolved that really made you emotional was finding Commander Keys. Spoiler alert, if you guys haven't played Halo Combat Evolved, you find your captain, someone you highly respected, from the beginning of the game. You find him infected by the flood in a very grotesque manner. And you have to extract a neural link in his skull so that you can get the command codes for a ship to, you know, get the job done. So that was also a very, I think, just very well-crafted mission and moment, because there was a lot of tension built up during that mission as well.
Halo Combat Evolved is 25 years old at this point. We are beyond spoilers.
You know, oh god.
Oh, thank God. See? I told you somebody would come to investigate that signal. My name is Dr. Ross, Chief Exogeny Researcher at this facility. We've been trapped in this room for days. We're almost out of food and water. You got here just in time.
Oh yeah, good, good. I wanted to save you.
I need to know what's going on. Why is this place crawling with Thorian creepers?
How do you know about the Thorian?
How the fuck do you think I know, bitch?
I know what Exogeny was up to. I saw what they let the Thorian do to those colonists, so I destroyed it.
Our secret's out then. No point in my lying. You already know the worst.
Yep.
The creepers here were created using altered samples from the specimens on Pharos. We discovered a way to turn them into docile, obedient servants.
They don't seem docile right now.
Everything was going fine until a few days ago. Then all the creepers suddenly went berserk. Only a handful of us made it back into the safety of this room.
Oh, let's investigate this. So let's talk about the berserk creepers, because we gotta, like, this is interesting. I wonder if it lines up with when we destroyed the original Thorian and they still had some kind of connection, but when they realized the hive, like, you know, the Thorian had died, if they just totally lost it.
Any idea why they turned on you?
Maybe there was still some kind of link between the creepers and the Thorian back on Pharos. The Thorian was unlike any other life form we've ever studied. I can't explain how, but maybe when it died, it somehow set off the creepers here.
That's crazy. Let's see other survivors.
Any chance some of the other people at the base might still be alive?
I doubt it. Too many creepers out there. They never stood a chance. We're the only ones left.
Okay, generic distress signal.
Why didn't you send a clear message asking for help? All we had was that signal from the emergency beacon.
This is a closed communications base. ExoJenny was worried about someone on the project selling secrets to a rival firm or
I'm getting
reporting our work
sick
to
of
the authorities.
ExoJenny and their
We have
freaking
no direct
nonsense.
communication with the outside.
Yeah, don't worry. We don't deal with them too much after this, I don't
It sends
think.
a general distress signal to the ExoJenny.
Well, yeah, they gotta have their business permit pulled.
They're supposed to send a team to respond inside of 24 hours, but it sounds like they had problems of their own.
Yeah.
I've heard all I need to.
Look, I know what we did here was wrong. I'll admit that. But it's over now. There's no sense reporting this to the authorities, right?
Are you a fucking idiot? Of course there's
Yeah,
a
what
point.
the
I don't
frick?
want you working on anything ever again. You experimented on people. You got people killed. You tried to make a fucking zombie army.
You're going
Are
to
you serious?
jail!
At the very least.
You were in charge of this project. The safety of the staff was your responsibility. They trusted you, and you betrayed that trust.
Be reasonable. I didn't mean for this to
Like,
happen.
report to the authorities.
Besides, it's hard to
I
help
am
anyone
Commander
while you're
Shepard.
in
I am the
Normally,
authority.
ExoJenny
The
would have
frick?
their back, but it sounds like they're going to have their hands full cleaning up the mess on Pharos. But I've got money. A nice little emergency fund I set up.
Oh, you
It's yours if you
bitch.
let us go.
I like that the renegade option is also just insulted by this. Like, I should kill you right now, you bitch. I'm like, no. And then the neutral option is, okay, I can take some cash.
The victims here deserve justice. I have to take you in.
That's not going to happen.
Are you a moron?
Open fire. Open fire.
Ugh, like, are you serious? I killed
Listen.
the things that you could not handle. You think you can take me? Me? Commander fucking Shepard? Fool! Hold on, I
Now,
want to throw
whether
this guy.
you are coming, whether or not you are coming with us, whether or not you come back alive is your choice. But you don't have a choice in the fact that you are. In fact, I think she's dead right there.
Yeah, we killed her in like a second, not even a minute.
Yeah, she goes open fire, and you just blow up
Oh,
the
hey,
whole
there's
room
one
with
guy
a
that's still
thought.
alive. Look at that. We like fucking killed. Just one guy left.
Blow up the entire room with a thought, like you flicked your wrist and everybody died.
ExoJenny's second-rate mercs proved no match for a trained Alliance Marine. With the last of the science crew dead, there's no reason to linger here. That's kind of fucked. No one gets to live. Let's go see what was in that other room. They did that to
let's see
themselves,
here.
though. I mean, it's not my fault, right?
Yeah, they really did. Let's see here. Atlas wants to know if the Kraken is real. I think highly likely. Nathan Duazo
Yeah, it was
confirming.
probably a giant squid that someone saw, and that's how we started to come up with stories.
Yeah. Nathan Duazo confirming the blue whale is the biggest creature that ever existed on the planet. Paladin saying it's my dark sword that Daybreaker is weak to in Ponyvania. Atlas has a
That's
hug for
good
the
to know.
Atlas has a hug for the two of us.
Oh,
And
thank
Jay Yoshi says brother finally came to church with me and my parents after not going for months. That's good. Nathan saying the D is silent, so that name is probably pronounced Joey.
I don't know what culture does it that doesn't pronounce like D's in words. I wouldn't know, I guess.
German, probably.
Oh, are you German?
Frick, I don't know. I'll never get over Hispanics not pronouncing the J. They say H.
No, it's like an H sound. It's an H sound. Juanita
Yeah.
or Don Juan. I I don't know. I've grown up with it, so I'm kind of used to it. I don't know.
My favorite language meme is on French, where it's like, you know, here's your word. It's mostly consonants, and you only pronounce like half of them.
Really? Oh, whoops.
Irish John says, don't forget to punch the reporter. It's glitched and calls it renegade for some reason. Not sure why. I'll tell you why. Because it is renegade. It is ethical to punch yellow journalists. Heather, why are you torturing cats?
No, I think you mean it's Paragon, honey. Renegade is hardcore evil.
Oh, okay.
I shouldn't say hardcore. While at Ferris, he found the personal log of an ExoGeni employee. The doctor's notes seem to express some concern about samples they provided to a group he referred to only as Cerberus. The logs mention something about the Matano system in the Maroon Sea cluster. I think we're there. That would be a good place to start your investigation. Matano in Maroon Sea. Matano.
Okay, so I get the joke that Irish John was making now. Calls it renegade to punch that reporter. Yeah, it's and I've seen that reporter in like memes and other video clips and stuff, and she really is just a trash reporter. And I'm just gonna rant I'm gonna rant for just a second here, Heather, because like you all know, Charlie Kirk got assassinated this week, and I was really bummed about that. It's actually the first time that I've actually been sad about a public figure dying. And I look down and I see so many people, and especially a lot of like journalists, celebrating that assassination, and it makes me legitimately mad. The state of modern journalism is absolutely pathetic, and I do think people need to start seeing consequences for this type of I don't even know what to call it. Like it's slander or libel. In print, it's libel. I remember J. Jonah Jameson made a big deal about that in the first Spider-Man movie. It's there needs to be consequences for this type of thing.
I feel like we already did that one, but that's not what I'm looking for.
Alice saying, isn't Brawny's job to be a reporter? Yeah, so yeah, Brawny is
Are you a reporter? I was thinking of actually you and not like character you.
So
I was like, what? Since when are you a reporter?
Well, okay, so it's complicated, and I've never had an opportunity to like explicitly explain it in my show. But Brawny's whole thing is that he's a freelancer and can't like find regular work, just like the real one. But he, specializes in writing, and he specializes in photography. So he's like constantly going around trying to find things to write about and trying to like get himself hired out. And he usually goes to like news places trying to sell his essays or his stories or his photos or things like that. So he's kind of a journalist, but not really. At least in the early seasons, and in season 7, he's focusing on training. So there's that type of thing. But Brawny's had a lot of jobs, just like me. Brawny's been a teacher, he's been a journalist, or a writer, a photographer, a health expert, things like that, right? So, but his whole thing is he's constantly traveling because he can't really make anything stick. And yeah, when in To Where and Back Again, the story there was Buck Wild, Brawny's older brother, found out that the changelings were preparing another assault, because Buck Wild works, at the time was a specialized in reconnaissance as a guard, so he would find out about things like that. And so he tells Brawny as kind of a warning, like, hey, get to safety and be ready, because stuff's about to happen. And Brawny takes that letter and goes, hey, I could go get proof and take it to the newspaper, And you know, not only would I warn everybody, but maybe I can get some money out of it as well. And then he goes and he goes up to the hive with the other changelings. And that whole thing happens, and then comes back, and when the changelings got reformed, it flashed his film. So he had his film was completely destroyed after all that hardship. And Brawny got mad about that. He got very mad about that. I don't know if you remember that video, Heather, but Brawny got his butt kicked more than anybody else in that video.
I think, well, when is he not? You're like, you know, we're watching Samurai Champloo right now, and oh my god, this cavern. But we're watching Samurai Champloo right now, and I can't help but feel like how the characters like they're badass, they're obviously skilled, but they get their ass beat sometimes because they just get put in tough situations. And boy, if that doesn't feel like you. Thank you.
Explain later.
Oh, okay. Anyways.
Guest appearance by Emerald Spencer.
Yeah, Emerald Spencer just comes in, and I'm just like, huh? He picked up my fiber gummies, by the way, which I need. Thank you.
Aha! We're having regular bowel movements tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it's healthy for you to poop. I know you guys think that, like, the stereotype, girls don't poop. No, guys, girls can poop. I mean, girls do poop. They just can't. They're terribly constipated, and you should be helping them. Get your girl some fiber supplements, because if she doesn't fart or poop, that means she's not healthy. Healthy people fart and poop. Now, if you fart too much, that's a different situation. But I'm just saying, you need to hold people up to healthy standards. Like, hey, girl, I noticed you ain't had a bowel movement in a hot minute. Do you need some like some laxatives? Do you need some fiber? Let me know, girl.
I remember early on in our friendship, and you came to me like, Brawny, my stomach hurts so bad. And of course I went into diagnostic mode and started asking you a whole bunch of questions, and eventually settled on like, wait a second, when was the last time you went to the bathroom? And you were like, you know, 24 hours ago. And I was like, oh, well, that's probably your problem right there. Freaking go eat some
I probably
vegetables,
like had to think about it too. Like, oh, I forgot. Cause like it's not like you don't think of like, oh, I should pay attention to how often I poop, but you should. 2 times a day, I think, is healthy. If you're doing a lot more than that, I have questions, but everyone's different.
Let's see here. Rusty saying, Brawny, I have heard that a lot of those reporters are getting fired over celebrating Charlie's death, so there's a lot, so there's that at least. Thank God. I feel like the culture is finally starting to, like, shift back, and hopefully it, I mean, I know it's a lot, and it's probably not going to happen, but hopefully we get some semblance of balance and humanity.
God damn it.
And humanity and humility in the media here, because honestly, like, real talk, this type of mentality, you know, which is what Charlie stood against, and that's why I admired him so much, is Charlie Kirk and I are very similar in beliefs, in methods, in motivations. Like, he's doing the exact same type of thing with his, you know, Turning Point and the college campus talks that he was doing. He's doing the exact same thing for the exact same reason as I'm doing with Brony debates. So yeah, and it's that type of thing, and yeah,
a pyramid.
People have been calling for deaths of people they disagree with for, like, I mean, I'd say it started in 2008, which is when I started noticing it, but it's just gotten exponentially worse since then. Yes, Blue Gryphon, you do hear meowing. Our cats are little whiner complainer babies.
Hold on. Prothean data disk recovered. There are several small Prothean artifacts in the crate, including an intact Prothean data disk. It appears to be in excellent condition. Cool.
Let's see here. Rusty says, I remember To Where and Back Again, a lot of slapstick. Yeah, one thing I've always wanted to do is, you might remember there was one part in that video where, like, we're surrounded by changelings, and then in the next clip we're just not anymore, and we're coming through and going, and Brawny said something to the effect of, Oh, I'm glad we were able to use all of that high-octane off-screen action sequences to get out of that situation. Because there's no freaking way I was going to be able to animate that on a MacBook Pro with a trackpad in Premiere. So yeah, I just threw that line in there to get out of it, but I've always wanted to learn animation and then animate them fighting their way through that, because they were freaking surrounded, and I've always wanted to animate, like, there was another time where they get surrounded again, and Brawny whips out a sword and goes, okay, you take the 500 on the left, I'll take the 500 on the right, and that should make for an honorable death. And then he gets tackled off screen, and you just hear Brawny getting freaking tortured off screen while the other characters are goofing off. And I wanted to animate that screen fight as well. I feel like that would have been really cool to see. Atlas saying Brawny got mad and took it out on FNGR. I did not take it out on FNGR. Now, FNGR as a character definitely gets under Brawny's skin a lot. But Brawny doesn't do anything about it because they're friends. But, since we had a fake FNGR, Brawny could take it out on the fake FNGR. It was a fake FNGR that got launched out of a cannon.
So I just looked something, because I swore these pyramids were supposed to do something. I just looked it up, and someone on Reddit was just like, so what's the deal with these fucking pyramids? And the comments have so far been like, right? These only show up in Mass Effect 1. We don't know what the fuck they're for. Like, no one understood what it was about. How long has Reddit been a thing? Was Reddit a thing back when Mass Effect just started?
Probably. I'll tab over and look that up real quick. Reddit founding date. Okay, so Reddit started on June 23rd in 2005, which I think. So I think Mass Effect is older than that. Mass Effect release date.
It came out when I was little, I think.
November 20th, 2007. So Reddit is older than it is about 2.5 years older than Mass Effect.
Oh, that's interesting. But it probably wasn't widely used yet. Like, Reddit was like akin to 4chan, wasn't it?
It's similar. I don't think it was ever meant to be 4chan.
I definitely wasn't saying that. I'm just saying it's interesting. Yeah. Like, it's like similar, like what it's for. It's just for like posting about stuff.
Yeah, 4chan, according to Google, started October 1st, 2003.
I want to find this debris before I do mission relevant stuff. There it is. Yeah, baby. I just assume my teammates are on their Omni tools, like, I don't know, watching 20,000, 3,000 year YouTube or something. Like, frickin' Rex has got frickin' Coco Melon on. Freaking Garrus is on space eBay trying to find scopes for his sniper rifles. They're like, oh, the extranet is slow right now. And I'm just like, I am literally driving us through hell. Ah, fuck. That was my bad. Let me try.
You know darn well Rex is posting to 4chan.
Is Rex a brony?
Secretly. He's in the stable.
He's in the stable. Rex, come on. Just be cool, man. All right, looks like there's stuff for us to fight. Let me save my game real quick, just in case, like, I die and then I have to do all this shit over again.
Blood Archer Gaming saying, only 500, Brawny's losing his touch. I thought the Earth Ponies could survive a fight. Here's the thing, Brawny can't actually fight. Like that's the thing, is he's always sucked at fighting. Brawny has almost never
Yep.
won a fair fight. The only times he wins fights are when he sucker punches people.
Looks like this planet was pretty similar to the other one we were on, but they were actually trying to colonize it. Better investigate. That's pretty sad. Yep, there are the husk needles. I do hate it. You remember when the first mission, like one of the very first missions of the game, where they showed you how those were made?
Yeah, that was nuts. I didn't like that at all.
Yeah, I was like kind of like thinking of it too, like, oh, time for Brawny to see how not vampires, fucking zombies work in this universe, or how we get them. Colony of the Dead!
I might have missed some parts of the exposition here. How did how like what exactly happened
why
with
we
these?
came here?
What happened with these creepers? They were experimenting on them and then they went rogue.
Oh, that was the last one. This one, it's very clear that they are Husk and not Thorian creepers. Thorian creepers, it looks like they took a sample from the Thorian from Pharaohs and decided to make their own zombies and try to make them docile servants. And that didn't work out. Now, in this situation, this was a colony. We came here because there was some kind of distress signal, and we come here and realize, see these spikes? They're making husks up in here. So I assume Geth intrusion. But I mean, this spaceship right here is probably just full of husks. So that's going to be what we're doing right now.
I think we need to get to the bottom of this.
Very nice, honey. Very good. And that's why I have a shotgun. All right, let's go. Yep, all husk. I guess they don't realize we're here yet.
Little Yachty got the shotty to your body, so don't resist, or you might miss Christmas. Irish John says, people say they didn't like the Mako tank in Mass Effect 1. I liked it. One memory I have is ramping snowbanks while fighting a giant worm as Mississippi Queen played in my headphones.
I can see that's a good reason for liking it.
That is a very Irish John way to play a video game, if I must say.
Yeah. I could see people enjoying that. Like I said, I still like the Mako. It's just like it kind of handles... Like when I'm trying to go up those slopes, it can be kind of a pain in the ass when you're trying to get up a mountain and you don't want to go around, you want to go through the thing. He'll probably know what I'm talking about.
Something I really admire about you and Irish John, Heather, is your ability to Mako the best of a situation.
Is this going to be like the whole stream?
It'll be whenever I think of one.
Let's see.
You married the puns, Heather. You can't complain anymore. You had your chance to get out.
In fact, I will complain a lot just because I can.
Oh, that was a close one. You had your chance to get out. Now if you leave me, I'm going to take you half your stuff.
What the fuck? You ain't getting shit. Half of nothing is still nothing, dumbass. You're gonna
owe me alimony. You're making the money right now, Heather. You're gonna owe me alimony.
I guess that's something you could be like, hey, you got to give me alimony because I'm fucked here. Hey, let me leave. Speaking of this, I gotta go in equipment real quick because I got a whole bunch of shit.
Mm-hmm. I haven't made any puns in a long time before just now, so it's like I've lost my touch.
We're all crying about that.
Atlas says Heather is the queen of puns, and I don't know where Atlas is getting that from.
When the time arises, I can, but like, do I want to? I guess by being married to you, though, by virtue.
You've done it before, and you certainly do it a lot more often since you've known me.
Yeah, it's usually silly ones though, and I go like, "Huh? You heard it? Did you like it? Did you like
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, and you're such a hypocrite. And then when I make puns, you're like, silence. And then I'm not sure if
Why
you
am I going
heard
to
me,
give that
so
to you?
I'm not sure if you heard me, so I have to sit there and repeat it. And then you still don't react.
That is not my fault. Eh. Don't mind me. I'm just like going to things. Yes.
Uwe Mazzotto thought you were the queen of pizza.
Sure, I'll take that title willingly. I do
Although,
like my pizza.
like, can you be the queen of pizza if you don't make pizza? Because I make pizza.
I'm the queen of loving your pizza. Does that count?
I guess so. We do have some pizza-centric characters in this fandom. Like Jasper is known as pizza, and you know, Brawny has established that he makes pizza as well, and you just eat pizza.
I'm a part of the pizza community.
Yeah. Guys, I recognize not all of you follow my Twitter, and that's fine, right? Twitter's a horrible place. But I posted, like, the pizza that I made this weekend, and like, I've been making pizza for a couple of years now, just occasionally whenever there's an opportunity to do so, like we're hosting a party, or we got relatives from out of town, or something like that. So, I got these, you know, I've been working on my pizzas, and they're good, they taste all right, but they're usually, like, they're falling apart, or there's just something slightly off about the crust, so I'm always, like, tweaking it and trying to, you know, experiment and figure out what went well and what didn't. And the last time I made pizza, I did a really freaking good job. And I was like, oh shoot, I think I know what to do now. And then I took, you know, the changes that I made on that last one, and I applied them to the pizza that I made this weekend, and it came out perfect. And it's like actually a really good pizza now. And yeah, so that was a pretty good boost to my ego. Jeez, what is this gun you're using, Heather? It's not really doing anything to them.
I killed him. It is a weird gun that I'm holding. It's an Avenger. Oh no, wait, that's a different gun. I'm using the pulse rifle 6. No, wait, the pulse rifle 7. I feel like I could do more with this. I'm gonna omni gel some things. Ooh, this is a better pulse rifle. It's a Geth weapon, you know?
Yeah, Blue Gryphon just pointed that out in there.
Yeah.
Somebody asked earlier if we need bodyguards, and I'm like, listen, I am the bodyguard.
Yeah, have you seen us in armor? Oh, shit.
Like, sometimes there's nothing you can do. Like, if, you know, there's not a whole lot you can do against a sniper. But somebody, like, let's say, you know, I was a bit more famous and a bit more controversial than I am. And I go to a public event and somebody says, oh, that's Brawny Buck, I'm going to kill you. Right? Which has happened to other people before. Yeah, and they try to pick a fight with me. That would be extremely unwise. Because I've got hands. I'm a halfway decent fighter. Certainly, especially compared to the characters we tend to run into at Brony conventions. And if I feel threatened enough, or if Heather feels threatened enough, we got something else for you. And I don't think you want that either. So
I was about to say, like, and the reason I'm so safe is because I'm always like 5 feet away from this guy.
Right. Well, Heather, I got to tell you, like, if anything ever does pop off, I need you as far away from me as possible. And I need you, like, you need to get away from the situation so I can focus on diffusing it with you at a safe distance. I need you calling police, and I need you filming. Though that's from a safe distance. So that's
I
those are
can't.
your.
Well, we're gonna have to assign that because I can't call police and film at the same time. I can't like call on my phone and film something at the same time. So I'm hoping either Spencer or Kai is there. I'm like, oh, you call 911, I'll film this. That sounds stupid though. Me just being like, you call 911, I'll film this for the content. I know it's not for that, but that's what it seems like.
Yeah, so those are your options there. You can either call 911, or you can film to make sure everything is like documented and basically cover our tracks. So that's how that works. Blood Archer Gaming going, it's called aiming, Heather.
What? All I know is spray and pray. What the fuck are you talking about? What is aim? I don't know how to do that.
Mm.
You think I fucking wear glasses? My vision, like, you fucking serious? You think I can do that shit? That's ridiculous. You're talking silliness. Should I switch to this armor because it's better in damage and shields, but it doesn't exactly do as well for tech biotic protection? Like, it's reducing my 30 to a 14.
Ooh, I don't know. I don't think that's
Definitely
a
not
worthy
this.
trade-off.
Yeah. Oh, let's see what this one. Bad. Yeah. I guess I'm best with what I have right now.
Rusty quoting Heather, "Oh my god, a fight is breaking out. Let me take a selfie."
Let me take a selfie. Yeah, fucking do it like that. No, that sucks. The best safety thing you can usually do, travel in a group of people you trust. That's why I usually always feel safe. I'm always with somebody I trust. Or I'm by myself, and I trust me. But even then, like, in our own neighborhood, I'll tell Brawny, like, are you sure you don't want to come on and run with me? Or you could be on the bike, especially when it starts getting dark late at night. I'm like, hey, I would feel cool if someone would just come with me so I'm not alone if I'm running around, like doing a jog or something.
Yeah, and I try to go with you as much as possible.
Yeah, not that our neighborhood's not unsafe, I want to say, but you never know what could happen.
Yeah, I mean, stuff goes down in safe neighborhoods, too.
Yeah, that's why it happens. People don't expect it.
All right, Trent is talking some silliness in the chat here. Says, I've said I wanted to pick a fight with Animat before, Brawny, but I keep having to remember that he works out. I don't. It'd get ugly quick. First of all,
for you,
if you don't work out, frickin' work out. Everybody should be working out.
Why would it even cross your mind to pick a fight if you know you're just completely out of shape?
Because,
I mean, I'm not saying that you are, but you probably are.
Well, he thinks about picking a fight because he doesn't like the things that Animat says. And yeah, Animat is pretty stupid, but that's all beside the point. You shouldn't want to pick a fight with somebody because you don't like what they say. You shouldn't want to pick a fight with anybody under any circumstance. The only time you're supposed to fight is if people
Brawny?
Start with you.
Brawny, I was just gonna say your voice was glitching out a lot, but I think what do you mean not level terrain? I think we get your point coming across, and I'm also was just about to say, like, also don't pick with fights with people. Like, if they haven't physically done anything to threaten you, like they're not threatening you, they're not doing threatening you with violence, I don't think it's appropriate, guys. Like, we're of human beings. We're not animals out in the wilderness. We don't have to solve things like that.
The only time you fight is if your livelihood or the livelihood of your charge, so someone that you're in charge of protecting, is being compromised. And that can cover a variety of things, right? But there's certainly not anything that he could say. I fight in a sport context. Like, remember that. I do combat sports. I pretend to fight with people. And then at the end of it, we're friends, right? So I'm not tough. That's why I do karate, so I can pretend to be tough. And, so your head's in the wrong space if Animat is saying things, getting you upset enough to fight. And also, since you said you don't work out, freaking work out. Especially like you personally,
Yeah,
Trent.
like what if
You and I have talked before about some of your health concerns, and literally all of them can be fixed and prevented by working out.
You see this shit?
I know that the AI, the enemy AI in this game just kind of sucks, Heather. Like, I can't believe they did a whole... I can't believe they did a whole remaster and didn't fix this.
I don't know. I guess because they knew people would buy it anyway.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, oh, this isn't the same experience. Look at, they're doing it again. Look at this shit. Maybe they were trying to make it less scary by making them stupid. I don't know.
Was it like this originally when you played it back in 2007?
You know, it's hard for me to remember, and I'm pretty sure I didn't play it right as it got out. It was my brother-in-law's copy of the game. I actually never had my own. I had my own copies of 2 and 3, but those were my brother-in-law's Mass Effect 1s that I would play. But anyhow...
You don't have any, like, melee weapons, do you? Because I feel like it would almost be more efficient to just go hit these guys with a sword.
You can hit them, like
That's
that.
not going to do much.
Yeah. You get one in Mass Effect 2. I'll make sure we get that one, because the Omni Blade was cool. It was fun. I would actually love to make that a cosplay prop. That'd be super cool.
Trent says, I'm just like that one really angry magenta ex-Brony, aren't I? No, Trent, do not ever compare yourself to Misanthropony. You are so much better than him.
Yeah, that guy was so lame he couldn't even come up with his own OC design. He just did himself as a male version of Pinkamena Diane Pie. Unoriginal.
Like, Misanthropony, he had a lot of potential, and it's a darn shame that he chose the path that he did. But, you know, at this point, the dude, and he, like, keeps shutting down his YouTube channel and then making another one under another name and then proceeding to tell everybody exactly who he is immediately, which I don't understand the purpose of. So, you know, with the choices he's made, he's completely thrown away any redeeming qualities that he had.
Let's talk about creators we do like that set good examples. Be the Game Grumps.
The Game Grumps.
Yeah. Like, not that there's never, ever been a controversy with these people, ever. But, you know, the worst controversies I've seen is that Aaron on Twitter, which, you know, that was already the mistake, that he tweeted something one time. He didn't like someone's animation because he thought it was making fun of how mean people, like, you know, what is the word? Devaluating people who've been bullied on Newgrounds was the argument. And he said, hey, that was not cool, or something about Senior Pello. And honestly, he might have overreacted in just saying that, but Senior Pello's like, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. But people came down on Aaron about like that. And Aaron was just like, look, I'm standing by what I said. This is what I thought. And yeah, people were mad about that. Another controversy was that Danny Sexbang, and I'm calling him by that name because specifically for this situation, his name is Danny Sexbang, and people were mad he had a one-time stand with one of his fans. Like, you know, like with a groupie. Yeah. And like, I think the only reason this got found out was because the girl like kind of complained about it on a subreddit, like, yeah, I met Danny Sexbang. I was such a big fan and I slept with him or something. And, you know, it was just a one-time thing. Nothing else resulted of it. And I'm like, well... And she had gone to say, like, yeah, I had messaged him when I was younger, and people were construed that into, like, oh, he groomed you, he's a groomer. And she immediately came back with, like, no. Literally, he said, he responded to one of my DMs with, like, hello, thanks, you're a fan, blah, blah, blah. And he didn't talk to me again until I was an adult, and I consented to that sexual thing, okay? Like, I'm not happy with, like, not getting a call back, but, like, that's just, like, she was mature about it and said, like, hey, that's the thing with being an adult. Sometimes this shit just doesn't work out. Like, he's not a groomer. He just, you know, didn't fulfill or, you know, he just didn't call back. Like, that shit happens sometimes.
Remember, children.
Like,
go ahead, Heather. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say what you want about having a one-time stand, like, because we don't know anything about the particulars of how that situation even went down. We don't know if she voiced an expectation. We don't know if he ignored it. There's just nothing we know. But if she was willing to go on record and be like, hey, no, he's not a groomer, it's not like that, then I'm willing to say that, like, they just didn't communicate properly about that whole interaction. If the person who's complaining about him is willing to stand up and be like, nah, it ain't like that, it's not as big as you're making it. It's not that deep. Adults miscommunicate all the time, and it's just something that kind of just sucks for her personally. I don't think it spells badly for either of their characters. That's all I'm going to say. But again, I don't know. I never talked to her personally, and of course, I haven't talked to Danny Sexbang personally. So, who can say? But
well, except for that one time you got a backstage VIP pass and went to go meet them.
That wasn't one-on-one. We just got into the concert area early, and he was on stage, and they were doing a Q&A. That's like, I don't think that really counts. He was cool, though, by the way. And I will say, no one ever talks about how the fans treat them. Like, did a freaking fan harass Danny at a concert? Like, someone ran up to him and grabbed him in the crotch, and he got away from them, and luckily he laughed off the situation. But, like, dude, don't do that. Don't fucking do that.
Yeah,
that's not fucking cool.
Imagine the genders being reversed.
Yeah, you wouldn't do that to, like, you wouldn't grab someone by the tits, even if they were a celebrity. That's a fucked up thing to do. It's disgusting.
Female performer, whoever did that would have been in jail.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Oh, there's a dude.
Yeah, well, I guess you could call it a dude if you wanted to. We don't know what it was before it got turned into a husk. Oh, hello.
Oh my god, your stupid companions getting into your line of fire when you're actively shooting. I was talking trash about the enemy AI a minute ago, but let's throw the frickin' ally AI in there, the companion AI as well. Frick.
Ooh, headshot.
Boom, headshot.
Thank you, Garrus. That was great. It's really easy to get a headshot when they're running right at you. Now there I couldn't tell where the fucking head even was. That's crazy. Must be over there. There he is. There you are. Hey, buddy. How you doing? Oh, no saving yet. Let's see. Let's make sure we cleared the enemies. Oh, what is it now? Time to look for goodies!
Yeah, so what is our mission here, Heather? What are we doing exactly?
Well, it's Colony of the Dead, honey. There were used to be colonists here, but all we're finding are husks. I mean, I think that makes it pretty clear what happened here. The Geth must have run through, turned them all into husks. Maybe they must have had something that the Geth were looking for was probably here, and they just took out whoever else was here. Something Prothean, perhaps. Reaper related. That's usually how it goes, and the fact that there's an exclamation point right there tells me that we're gonna find out. I'm gonna go over here first.
All right. We've been streaming for a little over an hour, so let's maybe we'll try to finish the mission.
Let's see.
So yeah, Heather, I got you watching Samurai Champloo. You mentioned that earlier. How are you liking that show so far? Because it's one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, it's definitely interesting. It's not usually an anime I would go for. Like you said, it's definitely a slow burn because, like, I'm a very character-driven person. If I watch an anime, everything else could suck about it, but if I like the characters, well, I think animation counts too, but if decent animation and characters I like, I'll like it. But this one doesn't really, like, go into our main cast, like, as deeply as I would. Like, as it stands, I've never really felt like the main characters have had a conversation, and this is where we stand. Like, we're still, like, a couple like, how many episodes in are we?
10. We just watched the 10th episode.
So I'm 10 episodes in, and I'm just, like, still asking, like, what are your guys' relationships to each other? How do you view each other? Obviously, with Mugen and Jane, there might be, like, kind of an eye-to-eye, like, oh, you're another capable samurai. Though I guess I'm kind of wondering what they even think of Fu. Like, sometimes they act like she's annoying, but sometimes she's the one that's, like, kind of, like, having to be in mommy mode and, like, get them to do what they're supposed to do. They're clearly bound by some sort of honor because they're kind of keeping to the promise, even though they try to run away from it at some point. But so I'm just like, waiting to see how things unfold. But let's see this terminal real quick. A colonial pioneer team rarely consists of more than a few dozen specialists. It's clear that none of them have survived. The Cerberus group has a lot to answer for here. Oh, so it was Cerberus. That's fucked up.
Yeah. So, yeah, Samurai Champloo is like, it is character driven to a certain degree, but the characters are not like as like outward and bombastic as you might be used to. Like these are pretty realistic, down to earth sort of people and situations that they probably would have experienced and how they would have realistically handled it, within the time period there. It's also, taking a lot of homage from things like, and here's another one you've never seen before, but you hear me talk about Zatoichi all the time. Where like the spaghetti westerns, and there's debate as to whether or not the spaghetti westerns took inspiration from like the classical Japanese samurai movies, or if it was the other way around. I'm sure they both played into each other quite a bit. But that's the type of character that it was. It's just, here's the adventure of the week. We're just a wandering samurai, whether it's like Clint Eastwood, or if it's like Bonanza, or if it's Zatoichi. We're just going from town to town to town, just trying to live life, and here's the conflicts we run into along the way. And especially with Samurai Champloo, like on my third rewatch, I'm remembering just how like tight everything is. Like this show does not exposit. They just go through it, and you got to be paying attention because there's going to be details. They're going to mention something. They're going to explain everything, but they're never going to outright say it. It's going to be implied by what's going on. Like, and earlier I was talking because the one episode we watched where the group meets the Dutchman from the East India Trading Company, and there's a lot of foreshadowing in that, but there's also a lot of explanation of like the setting of what's going on. The East India Trading Company brought a lot of opium into Asia, but especially like Japan and things like that. The early like 1600s trading with the Dutch brought them like Christian missionaries, and they brought them sunflowers, which all plays into each other and stuff that we're going to be dealing with in the rest of the show. But they're never gonna like outright say that. It's just sort of thing. And the other episode we watched,
it's like in the setting.
The other episode where we watched the swordsman who could use chi. And it's like, and it was kind of funny, and I didn't know what to do in this situation because you were asking me like all of these questions, and I was like, well, I'm like trying to find a nice way to say they're gonna tell you.
Hey, don't worry. You don't ever feel like you have to answer my questions, because if the anime's gonna answer itself, just be like, yeah, just go ahead and watch Heather. This is what it's gonna be like. And I'm like, okay, because I've watched movies with my mom, and she's asking questions like, hey Heather, who's that? Hey Heather, what does that mean? Hey Heather, and I'm like, Mom, watch the movie. Mom, stop talking. Watch the movie. Watch the movie, Mom, and you'll know what it means, Mom.
Yeah.
Mom. I love my ma. She just like. Don't bring her to a movie theater though, because she'll be asking questions the whole time, and she wants to know stuff.
Yeah, it's a really well crafted show that you got to be paying attention to, because like even if there will be stuff in the background that'll foreshadow plot points of the episode or even the overarching plot, and then it'll gradually work its way to the foreground. Like that same episode where they were walking the Dutchman around, how'd that episode start? It started with an eating contest. Heather, and how did Fu lose that eating contest? She slapped a fly, and it accidentally gave the signal that she was quitting, right?
Yeah, that frustrated me.
That fly, Heather, I don't know if you saw it, but that fly was in everybody's face. Like every time they
yeah, I did.
Did it. every time they did a close-up on somebody's face during the eating competition, the fly would pass by somewhere in the frame.
I did notice that, and it irritated me because I knew, like, oh, this fly is gonna be a motherfucking problem, dude. I like this armor that Tally is wearing. We gotta go on a mission so she can just flaunt her new fit. But I'm just going through equipment now because I know we're near the end of the stream, and I wasn't gonna engage in another.
Harriman says, as much as I was lukewarm towards Samurai Champloo when I watched it, I remember it fondly because the storytelling was really good. The modern slang annoyed me at times, but it was a lot of fun. And yeah, that's another point in favor of Samurai Champloo, is that it's this historical piece, but it's so very well artistic and set, and like does this, I would call it almost a perfect blend of hip hop culture and mixed with like classical samurai culture, and the art style being a mix of like graffiti and ukiyo-e. And and Heather was talking about like the art style of the show too, and how stylistic it is. Heather, do you want to share your thoughts on that?
Yeah, like I was saying that, like, man, this thing is like really going for its aesthetic. Like, I definitely see where it's coming from. I'm always impressed with graffiti art. I don't know. I was born in LA County, guys. I don't know if I've mentioned that. So I'm kind of used to the graffiti culture. And watching it intermingled with an Eastern art style was, of course, very interesting for me. I'll say this. I think Samurai Champloo is objectively a great anime. It's not an anime that I would say is one of my favorites. It's not something I look for in anime because I'm more whimsical. I love my whimsy, and I like funny stuff and cute stuff, like stereotypical anime stuff. But I will objectively say this is a piece of art and it should be respected, because that's what I think when I see this. Like, I think objectively it's good. I can see what people are seeing in it, by all means. So that's basically what my take of it is. Like, I definitely got to finish it before I should say that definitively, but I definitely can see where it's coming from with that.
Yeah, and what both young me and older me really likes about this show that always stood out to me is that it's like the choreography and the way the fight scenes go down, extremely realistic. Like the only thing that could be more realistic about them is both people getting cut and one of them barely managing to live after the fight lasted like 2 seconds, but that wouldn't be good for film. We've got to have some kind of exchange going on, but they're not talking. There's no there's not talking during the fight. There's no like flashy like Kamehameha waves or anything like that. It's it's not played up dramatically. It's just they swing the sword and they either block, dodge, or get hit. And that's how sword, and they also don't do that like glancing blow thing that I always hated in watching anything in any kind of media with a sword. There's no such thing as a glancing blow in a blade fight of any kind. Like, even small little pocket knives can open you right up and spill your guts everywhere and make you lose enough blood to die in a couple of seconds. Now imagine if that blade was 30 to 40 to, depending on the type of sword, if it's a European style, it could be up to 50 inches long. So let's see, what are we working on now, Heather?
I'm selling armor and guns and stuff.
Okay,
so
we finished up that mission?
Yes, we did. So we know that Cerberus, like, I was blaming the Geth, but it was Cerberus who came and wiped out that colony, essentially.
So we gotta find out.
Remember the name, because it's going to become significant the further we go into this series. Yeah. So remember the name.
I will. I feel like an idiot, though, because I talked through the end of that mission about something totally unrelated. It's not like it was very theatric. There wasn't like a freaking, there wasn't like a cutscene or anything. It's a side mission, so they didn't do anything like that. So don't feel incredibly bad. I was just going to let you go off while I did menial stuff like, sell things we didn't need. Yeah. Harriman is recommending the anime Star Driver. He says, is an anime that's around a decade old, and it's about half high school character drama and half giant robot action, and those halves of the series tie into each other.
Oh, that's interesting. I will say I've been meaning to watch Robotech and Space Dandy. Like, I've just seen visuals of Space Dandy and I'm like, this looks hilarious.
I've heard Space Dandy is like the definitive comedy right now.
Really?
So yeah,
that sounds great.
Maybe we'll check out.
I'll see if it's on Crunchyroll.
Yeah, maybe we'll check out Space Dandy. But lately, whenever Heather and I are not watching Samurai Champloo, she's off watching High School DxD for some reason.
Well, that's because I have explained this to you. I'm watching an ecche anime because I'm trying to watch something that you won't miss. Because while you're gone, I don't want to watch something that we're watching together or something you'd feel bad missing. Because there's a series I really want to watch called the Silent Witch that sounds like it's very interesting. But I don't want to start that on my own. I want you to watch it with me. So I'm watching an anime you wouldn't give a shit about. And you give a shit a lot more. Even if you don't like the anime, you still want to watch it with me a lot. But the one anime genre that I thought you wouldn't give a shit about me watching without you is ecchi shit. I like to think of it as porn with plot. Like, there's titties in there, and they're being very gratuitous about it. But then there's, like, fun action scenes and stuff and magic shit. So I'm just like, okay, I'll take some titties and magic, please, and thank you. And my freaking do you care? Like, let's be honest. Do you actually care what I'm watching when you're not around? Because I don't want you to miss anything. Like, I don't want to watch Dan to Dan without you or the new Demon Slayer movie without you. So, like, do you care that I'm fucking watching a stupid ecchi anime to pass time while you're not here? Oh, shit, I accidentally bought stuff when I meant to not to.
Well,
this is what happens.
Yep. Is this a good place to call the stream for tonight, Heather?
I think so.
All right. Oh, we did have one more question here. Rusty said, Brawny and Heather, random question. When it comes down to an OC's ability capabilities, what are your thoughts on incorporating IRL capabilities and or capabilities in other aspects, like in a video game? I'm not actually sure.
I need you. I'm kind of confused by the question, but
yeah.
Can you explain this in detail to me? Like, what exactly is the
I'm gonna guess, Rusty. Do you mean that? And hopefully Rusty is still watching. I imagine he is. He usually sticks around the whole thing. Rusty, do you mean that, like, how much do we incorporate our real selves into our pony sonas? Is that what you mean?
Okay, because, like, I was wondering if it was something like that, because I was told something. I actually would like to share this. My first BronyCon, which was my first Brony convention ever, I went to a fanfic writing panel, and I asked them, what do you think about self-inserts? Is it okay to base characters off yourself, or is that something you should never do? And the people on the panel told me something that was actually, they didn't give me a yes or no. They gave me an interesting answer. They said, no matter what you write, you will always put at least 10% of yourself in the character you're writing about. So don't worry too much about being a self-insert, but just know that a bit of yourself is going into every character you write. So that was pretty interesting. Now, what I would say is, do you want to incorporate stuff that you know how to do into your character? Absolutely. If you know how to cook real well, definitely incorporate that into a character because you know more about that topic. You should write, like, if you want to write about something you know, I would fully encourage it because you'd probably write it best. If I wanted to write a character that knows how to crochet, I should write that as opposed to writing a character that knows how to knit, because I know how crochet works as opposed to how knitting works. Like, I know how crochet works better. I have some understanding, but I don't want to sound like an idiot when I eventually say something that isn't true about knitting. It's like how people had trouble writing sci-fi when they don't understand science very well, you know? That's just what I think, though.
A writer can only really write what they know. So yeah, that's, I mean, it's possible, but those writers are extremely talented and extremely rare. And you know, half the time it still doesn't come out that great. So by and large, writers can really only write about what they know. And what are they going to know? They're going to know themselves. They're going to know their world. They're going to know the people around them. Something I've said before is that if you are friends with a writer, it's not a question of whether or not you will be a character in whatever piece they're writing. It's a question of which character you're going to be.
Yeah, that is true, because I've thought of just like people I've met in my life, and I stick to certain memories about them just because I want to be able to revisit it later. Sometimes it's like little things too. Like I've met people with names I really like that I'd be like, man, I want to use that name for something. I'm not having children because like I wouldn't have a child just so I could give it a name. That's silly. But I hang on to their names because I'm like, I either want to give that to a pet or I want to use it as a screen name, or hell, I will use it as a name in a book, because like you want cool names in your stories is all I'm saying.
Yeah, and then when it comes to me, like when it comes to me and Brawny specifically, as in a buck to the face, you know, Equestria Brawny, I tried to just make that me as much as possible. And the reason being is because like, and you've heard me say it in my videos before, you know, every facade will eventually crack under the weight of its own maintenance. And so like if I was sort of like seeing the future, like, okay, what if this does take off? And what if I do go to conventions or stuff like that and people know me? I wanted what they saw to be what they got. So that like and you know the bluntness that I have. I wanted people to be ready for that. Almost even the way that I talk to a certain degree, my mannerisms, you know, how I think about certain things and how I react to other things. I wanted all that to just be, you know, what you see is what you get. And a bug to the face is sort of meant to simulate what it might be like to actually know me and see what's going on inside my head and hang out with me. And like it's almost like you're watching the episode with me, but now there's also a story behind it. My backstory is just you know a ponification of my real life and a lot of the things that's happened in it. Obviously, you know, toned down for the subject matter, and you know some of the arc that the character of Brawny is going through now is also stuff you know, based on or at least inspired by things that I've actually gone through. Like the fight with my older brother, for example, and you know the way I sort of ran away and tried to make a life of my own after that. So yeah, it's just, and you know one of those reasons is I want, you know, I don't want to have to go out in public and have to put on a character, so I might as well just be me. And yeah, I want to be honest and genuine with people. Now, if I wanted to be a character, I could have, but you know, I wouldn't be able to. If I'm going into a place where people are expecting the character and they're getting something different, then I got to put on the character. I wouldn't be able to maintain that for extended periods of time. So that's why I do what I do, and I think Brawny is pretty close.
I think I can heavily relate. I can heavily relate to what you're saying, because I also kind of designed my character so people wouldn't be disappointed. Like for a while, like you guys know, I was going by Heather Blossom because Heather is like part of my real name, and I didn't like, because I remember like you'd follow a creator and then they're like, oh yeah, my real name is Tim, my real name is Greg. And it's just like kind of like like it's not like trying to be mean or anything, but you just like, oh, this person's really cool and their name is so boring. So I kind of incorporated that in there at some point because I was, you know, didn't want people to be disappointed. Lately I've changed that for like privacy reasons, but I didn't want people to be disappointed in what they saw on screen with what they got. That's why also my OC also takes on a lot of my traits, my personality, and also a little bit of my appearance. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a cute little chibi pony in real life, but you know, my hair's kind of similar. I wear glasses, and you just go from there. There's only so much you can do when your character is a pony.
Yeah, and other content creators I know have like expressed like, oh, you know, like these fans, they think I am the same way I am in my videos, and then they complain about it, and you know, they don't understand that it's fictional, and I get that, I totally get that, but fans are stupid, and the same reason, well, I shouldn't say fans are stupid, that's not what I meant, but you know, that's exactly the thing though, is like fans, they get used to your character on screen. So if that's hard to maintain, then you better never meet your fans. but you're gonna want to meet your fans, and your fans are gonna want to meet you. So I totally understand like how exhausting that is, and you wanted to play this character, and now you've got to deal with this type of fan. But you got to sort of make peace with that when you're making the character and when you're making the decision to go and meet the public and meet your fans, is that you're going to run into that type of thing, and you've got to be at peace with that ahead of time. Otherwise, you're going to be complaining about it and making it seem like you're ungrateful for the opportunity that your fans have given you to be in the position that you are if you're making a living off of your content, as well as not ready to be that in real life, right? So you've got to make peace with whatever these things are ahead of time, and make your decision on how you want to go about it, and be okay with that, because otherwise you look like a wuss, you look like you're ungrateful. And people don't like that either. And I've seen that ruin a good few reputations.
Yeah, it's just hard to keep on a mask all the time. Just remember, like, a little bit when you go online, it's a bit of masking. Just make sure you're not doing that 100%, I would say.
Yes, and I've had that happen to me too, where people, like, meet me, and then they think, and then they like realize like something about me is different. You know what was funny is the first several conventions I went to, and every time somebody like saw me, they go, "Oh, you're Brawny," and then people would be like, "I thought you were taller." What the frick?
That sucks. I've heard that happening to multiple people. You know what's funny? I heard about the opposite happening to a guy. Like a guy called Red Panda on TikTok who mostly talks on about comic stuff. He's had people come up to him being like, "Oh, you're Red Panda? We thought you'd be shorter. Like you give off short king energy." And he's like, no, yeah, I'm 6 foot something or other. I'm not small." I guess the perspective in which he would film himself, people just didn't think he'd be so tall. And people are disappointed, like, "Oh, I thought you were a short king." And he's just like, "What do you want from me? I can't be short."
That's hilarious. But yeah, people for some reason thought I was taller. A lot of people thought I had darker skin than I actually do. What else happened? Oh, there was one
you're
time.
Brown.
Yeah, and there was one time that that people somebody, and I think it was one of our friends, it was like a mutual friend of one of our friends, had met me and had known about like me and my content, and then we were like talking, and I must have said something that she didn't appreciate, and she was like, "Oh, I can't believe Brawny is such a jerk." And when I heard that, I was like, I thought she said she watched my videos. Why is she surprised?
I don't know. Maybe she was one of the few people that's just like, "Oh, it's an online persona. He's putting on a little bit of a front. Shouldn't expect the same thing in person." And then she got closer to what was online, and she was just like, "What the fuck?" It sounds silly.
Well, I will say this, right? Like I wasn't always doing a buck to the face. So, and when I was doing like video essays, and yeah, when I'm talking on serious matters, I try to present myself seriously, and I try to articulate and enunciate and really make sure I deliver the message as best I can, and choose my wording and be as proper as I can to deliver the message. And then when you hang out with me and it's not as serious, or I'm not putting as much thought into what I'm saying and really refining the script, I get a little off the cunt, and I mispronounced that. I get a little out of line there, and or off the cuff is what I meant to say. I get a little off the cuff, and I stuttered really, really freaking badly just now. But I get a little off the cuff, and I'm a little more blunt, and yeah. So when I guess people thought they were gonna get like the posh blazer wearing Brawny that's really articulate and really understanding and really nice and wants the best for everybody, which is true. Two things can be true at once, and that is certainly a duality I have to my personality, is depending on the situation, I could be one or the other. And yeah, so I don't know. Maybe she just...
Two things.
Yeah.
Off topic, why does that, like, because I know it is fake, but why does the freaking space outside our ship look fake? Like, I know it's fake, but like it looks like, you know, we're just in a toy cockpit and there's just like a wallpaper.
Something about shading.
I don't know what it
something
is.
about reflections. Probably we're not moving. I don't know. I couldn't.
I was also gonna say, related to what you're saying, I thought it was so funny. You met someone at the con. They didn't know who you were. They didn't know anything. They just went up and like, oh man, are you all right? Like, you sound like you got a cold. And you're like, no, I just talk like that. It's just what I sound like.
That's Mayfair last week. They were like,
funny.
are you sick? I'm like, no, this is just my voice.
This is just like, sir, this is just what I sound like.
Yeah.
Sir, this is just like, isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like, oh man, I'm not sick. I just sound like this.
Yeah. Harriman says, Brawny, you're honest. A lot of people don't want honesty, even when it comes from nicer people that they
You
know. And
know,
yeah, that
I have
might
told
have
you
that
that.
might have that might have been it. It probably was. You know, they said something that was wrong, and I corrected them, and that was and they didn't like that. People don't. Yeah, which is understandable. People don't like being corrected on their worldview.
Head to Mastodon system in the Artemis Tau cluster. Okay. I'm getting us ready for the next mission for whenever we get back to this.
But yeah, I think I've rambled about myself long enough. So,
and I've had to pee for a while.
Yeah, so let's get out of here, Heather, and watch more Samurai Champloo before bed. I hope everybody had fun tuning in with us tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. It's been great to relax and watch Heather play her favorite game and chat with you all. I don't mind this type of live stream. This is all right. And yeah, we'll hope to see you next week for some more Brony debates and for some more gaming, whichever we decide to do here. Until then, stay safe. God bless. Thanks to all the patrons. Go check out the links to see what you get in return for your support if you feel like supporting the channel as well. And we will see you all next time. Stay safe. God bless. Say goodnight, Heather.
Good night, everybody. We found a protein